All right.
Okay. Good evening. It is Monday, January 5th, 2026 at 6 p.m. and I'm calling this public hearing to order. Present this evening are council members Mr. Hanum, Mr. Hanson, Mr. Richardson, Ms. Dow, Mr. Murphy, Mr. McCann, and myself, Mary Westfall. Additionally, from administration, we have the law director, Mrs. Brining, service director, Mr. Shaw, Chief Miller, clerk of council, Mrs. Smith, as well as Mayor Fry is joining us. The audience is doesn't have a big crowd, so I'll list those people. We have William Gross with us, and we have Judge Bonfiglio with us. Welcome. At this hearing, we will welcome public comment on proposed SUP 4-2025, which is a request from Mr. William Gross for a zoning change on the property located at 5910 Balfour Road, Sylvania, Ohio. And to make, the request is to make this change from the current zoning R2 to R2 as a special use. And the request is to put an open carport on the existing property next to the house. City Council did refer this request to the Sylvania Planning Commission, and the Planning Commission reviewed it and made their recommendation at their November 12th, 2025 meeting. And the Planning Commission supported this change unanimously. We don't have a lot of people here in attendance to speak on this. I would invite Mr. Gross to come up and share any perspective that he has about his reasons and the thoughts on the carport. And then, again, I don't think there's anybody here to speak, but I would, of course, then open it up to council members for questions.
Okay, I'm Bill Gross, William Gross, it doesn't matter whichever you want to call me. Basically, we bought a small house for my daughter. Unfortunately, the builders didn't put a garage on it. At some point, it's something that we may look at, but because of the way the electric and stuff, the electric service, everything's there, we're looking at just putting a steel, galvanized steel carport instead of doing the ones with the rounded corners that look really terrible. It's going to be a true A-frame type construction, roof only. Everything else should be open.
I know we all saw drawings of this, and we've had conversations. All of the council members are aware of this. I don't know if the lawyer, if Mrs. Brining has anything she'd like to share.
No.
Oh, good. Okay.
Thank you, Mrs. Westfall.
Any questions from council members?
I have a comment, not so much a question, but we did discuss this, as you mentioned, for more of a long-term solution, and I think this came in kind of ahead of that. So I just wanted to point out that I think we have a good long-term solution in place for any of these coming up moving forward.
For the future. All right.
If you don't mind me jumping in real quick. Actually, kind of how you guys laid it out is actually a good idea because you made it like mine, the measurements are, it's a custom. So they can't just go to Menards and Home Depot and just buy the rounded corner ones because it has to meet your guys' specific size, which will deter a lot of just the makeshift throw up things.
Great. All right. Hearing no other questions, I thank you, Mr. Gross. And what I would say is, I think that I would lean into council members if we're ready to move forward. I do know we have legislation prepared for this evening, and if there's a motion to advance legislation to this evening's city council meeting, I would consider that.
So moved.
So it's been moved by Mr. Murphy, second. Mr. Hanum? A second by Mr. Hanum? All right. It's been moved and seconded to advance legislation to this evening's meeting regarding this SUP 4-2025. All in favor, please indicate by saying yes or aye.
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 Any opposed? This motion carries unanimously, and so with that, yippee, one more thing off the list.
Perfect. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we'll call this meeting to close, and thank you all for your input.
Good evening. I would like to call the organizational meeting for the city council meeting for January the 5th, 2026 to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Hanson,
Here.
Mr. Hanem,
Here.
Mr. McCann,
Here.
Mr. Murphy,
Here.
Mr. Richardson,
Here.
Ms. Dow,
Here.
Mrs. Westfall.
Here.
All 7 members of, well, all members of city council are here, therefore a quorum does exist. And I'll take a personal prerogative here and lead with the Pledge of Allegiance myself, so if you'd all stand, if you would, if you're able. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. This evening, we're pleased to have Judge Michael Bonfiglio here this evening to administer the oath of office to myself and the members of council who were elected in the November election. So with that, I will come down and take care of this. Ready? All right.
I do solemnly swear in the presence of Almighty God, I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Charter of the City of Sylvania,
and the Charter of the City of Sylvania,
and I will faithfully discharge
the
duties of the public office
the duties of the public office
of Mayor of the City of Sylvania.
of Mayor of the City of Sylvania. Next up, we have members of City Council that need to be sworn in. Mr. Hanson, Mr. Murphy, Mr. Richardson, and Ms. Westfall.
I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
in the presence of Almighty God
in the presence of Almighty God
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Charter of the City of Sylvania,
and the Charter of the City of Sylvania, Ohio,
and will faithfully discharge the duties of
and will faithfully discharge the duties of
the public office of
the public office of
Member of Council of the City of Sylvania.
Member of Council of the City of Sylvania.
Congratulations.
Judge Bonfiglio, we appreciate you. You're welcome to stay. You don't have to. I appreciate it. Happy New Year.
Nope, I'm all set. Thank you, Judge.
Okay. You got taken care of better one. So, now moving on to agenda item number 5 for this organizational meeting. We're looking for a motion and a second to determine the duly constituted elected members and qualified members consisting of Marcus Hanson, Douglas Hanem, Brian McCann, Sean Murphy, Patrick Richardson, Lindsay Stow, and Mary J. Westfall as members of council in the city of Sylvania.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the members of city council as duly elected and qualified. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much. And the council is duly elected. Now we're looking for a motion and a second to nominate an individual from city council to become president of council.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Hanem.
I move we elect Mary Westfall as president of council.
Second. We have a motion and a second to approve Mary Westfall is, well, first, Mrs. Westfall, are you willing to accept the nomination? I guess is the first question I
It
need
would
to
be
ask.
my honor.
Okay, thank you very much for that. And we have a motion and a second to approve Mary Westfall as president of city council for the next 2 years. Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, do I have a motion to close the nominations?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to close the nominations. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much. Moving on to the election. All those in favor of Mrs. Westfall becoming the president of council for the next 2 years signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried, and congratulations, Mrs. Westfall, on
Thank you so
becoming
much.
president of council. Committee appointments, Mrs. Westfall, that's, as president of council, you have had conversations about that, so please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to make the recommendation that the City Council of Sylvania committee assignments be assigned as presented on the sheet here, attached to the document. And these will be posted online as well, so that the public can see them clearly. There are no changes from the way it was the last time. We just had appointed this group in this order last January, and that everyone will stay in place. And also for the community organizations, we've got, and I'll read through those, they're not as lengthy. Sylvania Area Joint Recreation District will have Sean Murphy, Heritage Sylvania, Lindsay Stow, Sister Cities Commission, Mary Westfall, Sylvania Community Services, Doug Hanem, Sylvania Prevention Alliance, Brian McCann, Downtown Sylvania Association, Patrick Richardson, and Sylvania Arts Commission, Marcus Hanson. And do I need a motion on this, Leslie? Yes. Formal motion. And I'd like to move that we accept the committee assignments and community organization assignments as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the council committee assignments and community organizations assignments as submitted in the information provided earlier. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much, and those assignments are approved. Moving on, we have considering adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn this procedural organizational meeting for city council. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much, and this meeting is adjourned, and we'll start the actual council meeting in 5 minutes. Weird.
It is
Ready
weird.
to go.
Come back.
You ready?
Yes.
Okay, good evening, everybody. I would like to call the council meeting for the Sylvania City Council's meeting for January 5th, 2026 to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Hanson?
Here.
Mr. Hanem?
Here.
Mr. McCann?
Here.
Mr. Murphy?
Here.
Mr. Richardson? Ms. Dowd? Mrs. Westfall?
Here.
Thank you very much. All 7 members of City Council are in attendance, therefore quorum does exist. Moving on to the agenda item for the Pledge of Allegiance. Would like to lead the Pledge of Allegiance this evening by Ms. Stell. If you would please rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Additions to the council agenda, I have nothing, but I believe Mrs. Westfall will. Mrs. Westfall.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to add ordinance number 14-2026, and this is regarding the public hearing that we just had.
We'll call that 6A for ordinance, consideration of ordinance 14-2026.
Thank you.
6A. Any other things you want to add to the agenda,
Nothing.
Mrs. Westfall?
Nothing, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Other members of council adding anything to the agenda? Hearing none. Mr. Sanford, would you like to add anything to the agenda this evening? No. I figured I would ask one last time. Chief Miller.
Nothing, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Shaw.
Nothing, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Schroyer.
Nothing, Mr. Mayor.
Ms. Branning.
Nothing, Mr. Mayor.
Hearing none, I would ask for council to approve the agenda as amended.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the council agenda as amended. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much. Moving on to the meeting minutes for the council meeting of December 15th, 2025. Mrs. Westfall.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move approval of the meeting minutes for Sylvania City Council of the meeting held December 15th, 2025 as submitted.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the meeting minutes for the council meeting of December 15th, 2025 as submitted. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much. Moving on to agenda item number 5. And I have to say, this is bittersweet. Sweet on the one hand, but also bitter because we're obviously losing one of our longtime and valued employees who's been wonderful to work with over the years. So Mr. Sanford, if you would come on up. I gotta tell a story now. This is actually a little bit ironic, and you know this is coming, right? Not sure which one. Okay. So Bill is the person who is typically suggesting we need to look at this proclamation, or we need to look at that proclamation. So I think it's fitting for this to be the first proclamation in a new year that I get a chance to read. So, whereas Bill joined the city of Sylvania in February 2010 as the Director of Economic Development and Administrative Services. And whereas he represented the city in local and regional economic development organizations, Sylvania Area Community Improvement Corp., or Sylvania Area CIC, Northwest Ohio Regional Economic Development, or NORED. And whereas Bill worked on many local projects, including the South of Monroe Development, or SOMO, and helped establish a Joint Economic Development District, or JED, in cooperation with Sylvania Township. And whereas he served on the Sylvania Area Chamber of Commerce Board, the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council of Northwest Ohio, the TMACOG Communications Committee, and is a member and past president of Sylvania Rotary. Now, therefore, I, Mark Fry, Mayor, do hereby proclaim January 9th, 2026 as William Sanford Day in the city of Sylvania. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'll give you a chance to take shots. Thank you, Shannon. I want to thank you very much for sharing for all these years. We appreciate your dedication to the city indirectly and sharing Bill with us all these years. So thank you very much for that. And we want to wish, obviously, Bill, his last day is actually Friday. So we're going to be celebrating again, in a more personal, one-on-one way, but nonetheless, we want to thank you for all your efforts and excellent service to the city for all these years. Now, I also know we have a couple of township trustees in the room, Chief Nye, Mr. Turner is also here, and I believe they may have a couple of nice words for you as well, so please.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Congratulations, Bill. Yeah. We just wanted to take a moment to thank Bill for his contributions to the Sylvania community, for all of his hard work with the different initiatives, the Joint Economic Development District, Sylvania Area CIC, all of the cooperation between the city and township that really helps the community thrive, and everything that he has done for us. For anything we'd like to add in.
Bill, congratulations and thank you. You came on board about a year after I came into office, and you've been instrumental in bringing our two jurisdictions closer together, and we are much better for it. Thank you.
We do have a recognition piece for you, Bill. So again, appreciate your service, and hopefully you enjoy your retirement very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Oh.
Great, I just have just a couple words. I didn't expect that, Township. Thank you so much for coming over. It's probably, when I started, I worked with John Zeitler, and then when he retired, and then Oliver came on board, and I really have enjoyed working with Oliver. We have a good time. I think we're a good balance. One of us talks more than the other one. I'll let you guess which one. No, he's just great. He's a real pro, and he really is knowledgeable about a lot of things. So the township, you really got it right. You got this guy here. So, just a couple thoughts. Mayor, thank you. Council, thanks. I've had a great time, but I see it as a privilege to have this job and to work. My colleagues, I want to thank for putting up with me and all my crazy stuff in different times with Toby, Joe, Chief, Laura, and Leslie. And I think I filled a few dumpsters cleaning out my office. A lot of different things. But what was great in doing that is I got to review all the different projects I've worked on. The one mentioned was the SOMO in the proclamation, and that really stands out because when I got hired, we weren't really sure how to do that, and my biggest job was to market it, and I forgot how many different concepts and different people that were interested in that. We had all kinds of interest, but sitting through that was a real education for me, and to see and to hear from different people. I want to thank Mayor Stow. He's the one that hired me. It was a new position. It was kind of a I think a strategic, was stepping out of his lane a little bit to do something like that, and I'm glad he did. When I came on, the two key people, and which is key, why you got to have key people, were George Eichenauer and Jim Moan. George was just, and I didn't know them. I didn't know who they were, didn't know anything. George is just a real professional. He was the guide. He gave directions to the whole city, just kept everything moving. He just was a real solid inside guy. And anything I wanted to know, he took time, and he would help me understand things. Jim Moan, and the first day that I started, he calls me, and he says, he says, get ready, we're gonna go for a ride. And he picks me up, and he spent a good part of the day, we just drove around the city and he was explaining everything. He was explaining how different things happened, or what happened with this property, or where things were developed and everything. And just a wonderful guy, and he's, I count him as a good friend now. Just and he's probably somebody that's done an awful lot for the city behind the scenes, but doesn't want the credit or anything. But a lot of the development things we have, it's because of him. He's just was great. The mayor I want to thank my wife Shannon. She's very understanding of my crazy schedule, and which I appreciate. She's very supportive. We've been going to events. She helps volunteer. We really got involved in the community. We moved here 10 years. We've been here 10 years now. This is our home. This is our community. We love it, and I'm glad I'm here. The other, I know I had my notes. I did want to mention my family, and we have 2 kids, Philip and his wife Jessica are in Charlotte, and my daughter Rachel and her husband Joe are in Springfield, Virginia. I'm blessed to have 2 wonderful kids, and very proud of them, and just about who they are. They're just wonderful people. Another thing that Joe and Rachel did is they gave us a couple granddaughters, which we're pretty excited about, and they're Rebecca and Claire. And Shannon and I had a trial run of taking care of them, and that I look forward to doing more of that. I know she did all the heavy lifting, though I didn't, so it was a lot of fun. And then I have 3 siblings. I have a brother here in Toledo. I have a brother in Southern Ohio. I have a sister in Philadelphia area. But with my kids different places and my siblings, I mean, that's one thing I want to do. I want to, spend more time and connecting with them and seeing everybody. The biggest question I get, what are you going to do? Well, with your time, Shannon has a few ideas, I know, she's going to keep me busy, but I'm a track official. I've been doing that for a long time. I'm going to keep doing that. I'm gotten involved with the booster club for the University of Toledo Athletics, the downtown coaches. I'll actually be the president next year. So that'll keep me busy too. Having a lot of fun with that. But this has been, it's like I said, 15 years. It doesn't seem possible. I've been here for 15 years. But I want you to know that it's been an honor for me to work here. And I just wish you all the best, and the city of Sylvania, and nothing but the best going forward. So thank you.
Thank you
very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Before you go, I imagine there's some members of council that may want to make some comments, and I'll open it up to the president of council first.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Bill, I'm very conflicted about your transition here. Bill and I have a very long history, much longer than just our time here on council. And when you became the leading candidate for this economic development position, I was like a kid in a candy store, because I knew the magic was ready to begin. And I thank you for your service, your dedication. No matter how stressed you were, you tried to do the right thing, and you always looked calm. Your professionalism is beyond reproach. And I feel like we have been so blessed to have you walk this portion of your journey with the city of Sylvania. We're better for it. We're stronger for it. And the most important thing is, I know you're not too far away. Phone calls are pretty easy. So thank you so much for your service and for your friendship.
Thanks very much.
The members of council?
Mr. Mayor, just a few things. Bill, I was shocked you've been here as long as you have. It went by so fast. I remember when we didn't have your position, and obviously Jim Moenfeld, did a lot of that. But you've done a great job. It's been great working with you. We appreciate what you've done for the city. Your mark is all over our city, and we will not forget that, and we're very appreciative. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I just want to say a personal thank you. One of the reasons I'm on council is, Bill's for a number of years has whispered my ear about, you should get more involved with this, or, you should take on a leadership position in that, so I appreciate you doing that. So thank you.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Just so you know, and I did tell the mayor, and we've talked, we're gonna be here in the community, and if there's anything I can ever help with, I don't wanna be in the way or anything. Just a word, Joe, if you get word of a car going the wrong way on a closed street or something, I'm sure you check it out first before you get too excited on those construction projects. That does happen to some people.
Be careful what you wish for, Bill.
Yeah, that's right.
Let me take you up on it. And Bill asked me to, he and Shannon, I believe, want to go out and celebrate. So obviously, I can't imagine any of you care whether we cut him loose this evening for, so the two of them can go out and enjoy the evening. And thank you very much for all your service. And
You, sir, are dismissed.
I do thank you all very much for this. I really appreciate this, and I really appreciate support from the township too.
thank you very
Oh, and before we're at Sharon Lang, as somebody I worked with the whole time I was here. She's just a treasure here for our community and does a great job. And I'm sure we're still going to see you around here. Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You can invite our trustee friends.
Pardon?
You can invite our trustee friends to take their leave if they choose.
You're welcome to stay, but you don't have to, is the.
See ya. I've been to your meeting.
So moving on to agenda item number 6, we have a report from the public hearing held this evening on SUP for 2025 for 5910 Balfour Road. Mrs. Westfall.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, we did have a public hearing this evening on Monday, January 5th, 2026 at 6 p.m. All members of council were present, as well as the mayor, the law director, and the service director, Chief Miller, was present. Clerk of council was present. At this hearing, we were welcoming public comment on SUP 4-2024, which was a request for a zoning change on a property located at 5910 Balfour Road, Sylvania, and the change request was a zoning change from R2 to R2 special use for putting an open carport next to an existing house. City Council had referred this to our Planning Commission, who did review it at their November 12th meeting, and they supported this change unanimously. This evening, there was nobody here specifically to speak in favor or in opposition to this project. However, Mr. Gross, the petitioner, did make a few comments and share a little bit about his appreciation to the city for working side by side with him and his thoughts about his carport. So with that, we had some discussion among council members. Mr. Hanson had a question, and then we had a motion put on the floor to advance legislation this evening for this carport. Mr. Murphy made the motion, Mr. Hanem seconded, and it passed unanimously. And with that, the meeting was adjourned. And as you know, we added ordinance number 14-2026 to the agenda, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Hanem, would you start the process for ordinance 14?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move adoption of ordinance number 14-26. I will read by title only, granting a special use permit to permit the installation of a carport on the application of William Gross, 5910 Balfour Road, Sylvania, Ohio, on the recommendation of the Municipal Planning Commission, and I move adoption of ordinance number 14-2026 as an emergency measure.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt ordinance 14-2026 as an emergency measure. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried, and ordinance 14-2026 is approved as an emergency measure. Moving on to agenda item number 7, we have a resolution designating the clerk of council as the training programs and seminars for the public records law. Mrs. Brenning.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is, every 2 years, we have to designate, or council has to designate the clerk of council to attend training on public records for them. This was a change in the Ohio Revised Code maybe 10 years ago to permit the clerk to be able to attend that training for you all. So this is a routine, just kind of procedural thing.
So, and if you've not been there or not been there in a while, I would recommend that you consider brushing up on it. I think it's online now, isn't it? You don't have to attend in person, so it's a little more logistically less challenging than what it used to be.
And to be clear, we are designating whoever fills the clerk of council
Correct.
position, correct?
Yes,
Since I understand that may change.
that's correct.
Okay.
Moving on, we have resolution number 1, 2026. Mr. Shan. Did I catch you off guard?
Resolution ordinance. I'm missing it. Oh, there it is. No,
One.
I am missing it.
You're missing one?
Quite all
Oh,
right.
he's got it, okay.
All right, where are we at? There we go. Thank you, Mr. Murphy.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to introduce by resolution number 1-2026, a resolution designating the clerk of council as the mayor and city council's designee to attend training programs and seminars about the public records law as required by Ohio Revised Code section 109.43. I would like to move adoption for resolution number 1-2026 as an emergency measure.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt resolution 1, 2026 as an emergency measure. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried, and resolution 1, 2026 is adopted as an emergency measure. Moving on to agenda
Mayor.
item number 8.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
if we could have somebody, if this is available online, I'd watch it online. If somebody could forward the link or whatever.
Yeah, I'd be happy to.
Whenever the time comes. Normally I only sue.
Always good to have a refresh.
That's right.
There might be a change, a slight one, but that can make a difference, obviously. So moving on to agenda item number 8, we have ordinance number 1, 2026. Mrs. Briney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well, as you all know, Mr. Sanford is retiring effective Friday, and with his retirement, there's a lot of restructuring and reorganization among all of the departments. The first part of that, I think it'll be easier if I just kind of talk about all of them together rather than trying to keep them separate. The first part is to create a communications manager position, a part-time position in the office of the mayor, and also interestingly, the part-time economic development director wasn't included as a position in the mayor's office, but now those two positions are created and under the purview of the mayor. That will just really be kind of separating and dividing and conquering between, I believe, Laura and I over those two positions. The next section that's included in this ordinance is the authority to enter into contracts. That's also included under the finance director. Mr. Hanem has requested that part be deleted from this ordinance. So this will be an amended ordinance to delete section 3. And we'll just include those, bring those back under separate legislation, probably in the next meeting or two. And then the last one is just kind of a housekeeping thing. It's electronic signatures. As you know, everybody kind of uses electronic signatures now. There's no provision in our code for that. So we just wanted to provide guidance and make sure that that's included as part of what council is authorizing the administration to do. So are there any questions on that piece?
I have a comment if I may.
Sure.
So, Mr. Mayor, I support the direction you're going in here.
Sure.
I do want to point out that I have no doubt that these rules will be covered just as well as they were in the past. However, I think naming an economic development director as part-time minimizes the importance of that role, and I think it's important that it is not perceived that way outside of Sylvania. To me, economic development is the key to keeping us competitive in Northwest Ohio.
Sure. I appreciate that, and I know that, a lot of Ms. Browning's responsibilities with CRAs, and TIFs, and JEDs and all of that sort of stuff, she already has most of that under her, well, she's got all of that under her belt already. This would just be an add-on, and making it into a part-time position doesn't obviate the need for robust economic development efforts. If it does not appear that, Ms. Browning has sufficient time to do both roles, I'm gonna come back and have a different conversation with all of you. But I think I think with the other things that we're looking at, that will allow her sufficient time to be able to handle that position as well. But I appreciate your thought process.
And, Mr. Mayor, I do think that there is some history with a part-time economic development director prior to Bill coming on board that was successful. Not suggesting that, that change was a very good change, but there has been this experience before and it was successful, so,
And that person was the law director who handled that
yes.
role, previously, so.
And maybe the last two law directors, I'm not
But
sure.
perhaps, but I know at least Mr. Moan handled that. You look.
No,
Okay.
no, it's good. I'm with you.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, just
Mr.
to
Haney.
clarify my, my concerns, and, I'm not even sure I have a concern, but I have,
You just need more
there's
time.
the sections specifically that I wanted to look at were in, item 8 of the agenda, the authority to enter into contracts in section 121.04. We're gonna pull that tonight. And the other one is in item 11, similar provision.
29.11.
It's section 129.11. So we're
Correct.
just gonna pull those two provisions while I have time to think about this a little more and get comfortable with the breadth of the authority we're granting there.
Sure.
I'm not, I think I need more time to think about that. I'm not objecting to what's here. It's just, I think I need more time to make sure I'm comfortable that the breadth of the authority granted is consistent with my understanding of council's role under the charter.
Understood. What I would ask, Mr. Hanem, is if, as you consider that, if you are uncomfortable or you would like to have a broader conversation amongst council, that you reach out to Mrs. Westfall, and then for the next meeting, we could set a committee of the whole for consideration of, in conversation about that. I think that would, to try to keep this process moving as expeditiously as possible.
Yeah, well, as you all know, I have your cell phone number, so if I'm not sure.
Understood. Understood.
Mr. Mayor,
Mrs.
may I
Westfall.
just share something? Mr. Hanem, I did speak with the law director on the same issue and questioned it a bit. And what I do think at minimum is that we would want to report out to us on any of the contracts that have moved forward that had been a part of the budget. And she felt like that would be also appropriate. So this would be a good, larger discussion.
So you're already fixing it.
So Mrs. Westfall, would you just, based upon the comments, would you like to set or set a committee of the whole for consideration at the next council, prior to the next council meeting, or some other time? Or would you rather consider this further and then go from there?
Well, okay, I don't mean to cut you off.
No,
Mary.
I'm just.
I was thinking that we'd have some discussion, and if we needed to amend this section, I could work with you and Leslie and get the language right, and then we could maybe include it
In the next packet.
next packet. But if in that process, we think we need a meeting, I mean, and I don't mean to cut anybody out of this either, it's just,
Well, how about if we set up a committee of the whole meeting prior to the next meeting?
Okay.
So that whatever we come up with, we can share with the group before we
Correct.
step into that. And if there's a further discussion needed, we've got a meeting in place and we're not holding it up. So, yes.
Mr. McCann,
To your point, but what I was more interested this evening is, are we going to read that into the record for that ordinance?
We're gonna amend
We're
the
gonna
ordinance.
amend
the
the
fact that we're
ordinance to
amending
delete-
it?
Yes,
Well, again, that's,
yes,
it's amended
that's,
to
yeah, it's
delete
not
it.
stated.
Not yet.
Not yet, but
Okay.
it will be.
yes,
Yeah. Mhm.
right.
We're just gonna pull those two
Yep,
sections.
so it'll be deleting section 3 of ordinance number 1-2026. And then.
Ms. Browning, do we do that as part of the reading of the ordinance?
Correct,
What
yes,
I
it will
thought
be.
so, but
That's
just
why
double
I'm
checking to make sure.
Leslie,
mechanics are correct.
it's exhibit C,
Correct.
right?
Section 3, exhibit C.
Section 3, exhibit C, yes.
And in section 3, it says exhibit C. Yes.
And then in, okay, so.
And then in
ordinance
ordinance
420, item number 11, we're gonna review.
Section 5,
Say that again, item,
Got it.
yep,
So we're gonna delete,
section 5.
I see it. Okay, now I understand.
In
Section
ordinance
5 is
4,
exhibit B.
delete section 5.
You have
Yes, section 5.
having written this,
Mhm.
you know it better than I do.
So,
So you'll just introduce
I
it
think I
as
can do that.
amended ordinance number, yeah, we don't
She'll
have to
keep
do
you
this
straight,
very
right.
often, but we'll get through it.
I think
We all will together.
I have the gist.
I know you do.
so Mrs. Westfall, did you want to set a meeting? We may or may not.
Yes.
We could cancel it,
We
but
can
once we
cancel
set
it,
it, it's
but-
easier to cancel than it is to set it.
Yes, I would like to set a committee of the whole meeting for further discussion on this topic for 6 PM on Tuesday, January 20th, at 6 PM here in the council chambers. Note that that's a holiday weekend, so we're meeting on Tuesday instead of Monday. Does that work?
Is that a motion?
It's a motion.
Second,
We have a motion and a second to set a council committee of the whole meeting to discuss potential ordinance for consideration at 6 PM on Tuesday, January the 20th here in council chambers. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? Motion carried, and the clerk will publish that for notification purposes.
Thank you.
So, moving on to this particular item, are we ready to go on this, or do you wanna?
Nope, I think
Okay.
we're good.
So we have ordinance amended ordinance number 1, 2026 for consideration. Mr. McCann.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to introduce amended ordinance number 1-2026, amending Part 1 Administrative Code of the Codified Ordinances of Sylvania 1979, as amended by amending Chapter 121, also deleting Section 3, Exhibit 3. Mayor, and I'd like to move for passage ordinance number, amended ordinance number 1-2026 as an emergency measure.
second.
We have a motion and a second to approve amended ordinance 1, 2026 as an emergency measure. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried, and amended ordinance number 1, 2026 is approved as an emergency measure. Thank you. Moving on to ordinance number 2 for consideration. Ms. Browning.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This one is much simpler. This is merely repealing our chapter 126, which referred to the Department of Personnel, simply because we no longer have a Department of Personnel. We haven't actually since Mr. Eichenauer retired. So you'll see further on, we create the Division of Human Resources under the Department of Law. So this piece of legislation is just to repeal chapter 126.
Questions for Ms. Browning? Hearing none, we have ordinance number 2, 2026 for consideration. Mr. McCann.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to introduce by title only ordinance number 2-2026, revising the administrative, departmental, and divisional organization of the city and the codified ordinances thereof by repealing Sylvania Codified Ordinance, Chapter 126, Department of Personnel. I move for passage of ordinance number 2-2026 as an emergency measure.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve ordinance number 2026 as an emergency measure. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Moving on to agenda item number 10, we have ordinance number 2026 for consideration. Ms. Branning.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This actually is not really to do with Mr. Sanford's retirement. These incorporate the changes that Mr. Shaw discussed with you at a previous Employee and Community Relations Committee. They add some positions and change some titles and add a couple of positions under the Division of Parks and Forestry, Division of Sewage, and Division of Water. But other than that, there's no changes.
Mr. Shaw, any comments you would like to make?
None, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, and these changes were all included in the budget, correct? Mr. Schreier?
Yes.
So any questions of members of council? Hearing none, we have ordinance number 2026 for consideration. Mr. McCann.
Thank you again, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to introduce by title only ordinance number 3-2026, revising the administrative, departmental, and divisional organization of the city and the codified ordinances thereof by amending Sylvania Codified Ordinance, Chapter 127, Department of Public Service. I move for passage of ordinance number 3-2026 as an emergency measure.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve ordinance number 2026 as an emergency measure. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried and ordinance 3-2026 is approved as an emergency measure. Moving on to agenda item number 11, which is another one of the amended ordinances for consideration. Ms. Branning.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This, in addition to just doing some reorganization, we changed Nora's title to Finance Manager from Human Resources Manager. But also there were some really old sections in there that we just needed to clean up and repeal. Those the subdivision lot split without plat fees. I don't know, at some point those were under the finance chapter, so cleaning that up. And then we will delete section 5, authority to enter into contracts. And then since the mayor and the director of finance are authorized by charter to sign contracts on behalf of the city, it's important to give Toby the same authority as the mayor for the electronic signature provision.
Questions for Ms. Branning? Hearing none, we have amended ordinance number 2026 for consideration. Mr. McCann.
Thank you again, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to introduce by title only amended ordinance number 4-2026, amending Part 1 Administrative Code of the Codified Ordinances of Sylvania 1979 as amended by amending Chapter 129 and deleting Section 5. I move for passage of ordinance number 4-2026 as an emergency measure.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt amended ordinance number 2026 as an emergency measure. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried and amended ordinance number 2026 is approved as an emergency measure. Moving on to agenda item number 12, and Mr. McCann, I hope you don't mind, but I'm gonna move this to the next one to somebody else, even though technically this is your committee still. Give you a rest. So we have ordinance number 2026 for consideration. Ms. Briney?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is, I believe, the final piece of legislation for the actual reorganization. And this moves the Division of Clerk of Council, establishes and Division of Clerk of Council and a Division of Human Resources and puts them under the Department of Law, which honestly is more efficient. I think just in practice, I'm typically involved in those discussions and divisions. So I think it'll be a more efficient operation. So that's what this piece of legislation does.
Questions for Ms. Browning? Hearing none, we have ordinance 2026 for consideration. Mr. Hanem.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move adoption of ordinance number 5-2026. I'll read by title only, revising the administrative, departmental, and divisional organization of the city and the codified ordinances thereof by amending Sylvania Codified Ordinance, Chapter 131, Department of Law, semicolon, and I move adoption of ordinance number 5-2026 as an emergency measure.
Second. We have a motion and a second to approve ordinance number 5, 2026 as an emergency measure. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much. And ordinance number 5, 2026 is approved as an emergency measure. Moving on to agenda item number 13, we have proposed ordinance number 6, 2026. Ms. Branning.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As I mentioned, as we were going through the reorganizational pieces of legislation, there were two new titles, or one title change and then a new title created. So we just need to establish the salaries for those positions, and that's included in this legislation.
Questions for Ms. Branning? Hearing none, we have ordinance number 6, 2026 for consideration. Mrs. Westfall.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to introduce ordinance number 6-2026. I'll read by title only, amending the codified ordinances of Sylvania 1979 as amended by amending section 139.03E3 to reflect new titles and salaries. I move passage of ordinance number 6-2026 as an emergency measure.
Second. We have a motion and a second to approve ordinance number 6, 2026 is an emergency measure. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much. Moving on to agenda item number 14, which is the second page. This is, Mr. Shaw. We're normally spending most of our evening with you, but not this evening. So welcome.
Law Director is very impressive. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. In front of you tonight, I have a change order recommendation for our water storage tank maintenance project that we did in 2025. These were mostly EPA-related items that needed to be done. Pretty small project by all intents and purposes. It was a $48,000 project performed by LC United Painting Company. There is one item that we are going to be deferring to a later time, and that is the installation of a fill pipe deflector bar. This goes inside the tank. At the time that we were performing this project, our provider of water, City of Toledo, was having pressure issues within the system. We didn't feel it was necessary to take our tank out of service when we were struggling to get a little bit of water from them. They have a valve, a 60-inch valve that's in Woodruff, maybe central part of Toledo, to give you kind of an idea where that is. Still is leaking to this day. They've done a replacement on it. Actually tonight, they're gonna start the second chance to repair that valve to get that up and running. But major distribution system that feeds the county, that feeds us. At the time we were doing this, we just didn't feel like taking our tank out of service was a good move given all those things that were going on. So no problem deferring this to a tank painting project in either 2028 or 29 when we do this particular tank. So no problem with that. So this is a change order deduct in the amount of $500 to decrease the contract with LC United Painting Company from $48,000 to $47,500. Be happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Mr. Shaw? Hearing none, we have ordinance number 7, 2026 for consideration. Mr. Hanson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to introduce by title only ordinance number 7-2026, authorizing the mayor and director of finance to approve change order number 1 final to the city's agreement with LC United Painting Company for the water storage tank maintenance project, decreasing the contract amount by $500. I move for passage of ordinance number 7-2026 as an emergency measure.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve ordinance number 7, 2026 as an emergency measure. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried, and ordinance number 7, 2026 is approved as an emergency measure. Moving on to agenda item number 15, Mr. Shaw.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is the first of probably 6 that will be in front of you in the month of January regarding upgrading our financial capabilities, our electronic capabilities, what I would say coming from the Stone Age into the real age of helping the city advance what we do and to be more efficient in what we do. This particular piece, I'm going to kind of reference number 19 in your packet, as the engine of the car. And this is kind of a component to like a vehicle. This would be your cooling system, your radiator, something like that. But this is a piece of the puzzle, which is our finance and utility billing software upgrade. We currently use a platform called eGov, which is a very old and antiquated, outdated piece of software that we use both for our finance packages as well as for our utility billing. That same company, Software Solutions is their name, actually has a more advanced platform, which is called VIP. Last year, we did pretty extensive research with several companies looking for the right solution to help us with this. After consultations with their utilities department and talking with finance personnel, it seemed like VIP, kind of using the same similar group that we've been using all along, made a lot of sense with this. So in front of you tonight is our software upgrade for this. We did budget for this. The implementation cost is $54,100. And I've got a couple of accounts cited there that we would be using those funds to help us do that. This will take a little bit of time to chew through. We're estimating a go live date in 27, but it's a pretty heavy build to go through and cross-check accounts and make sure everything is good. But when implemented, we'll be able to have electronic purchase requisitions, approvals. We'll be able to monitor budgets real time, which is an amazing tool for me, which would be great moving forward. I can actually approve a purchase order and see it go through and know exactly what the account balance is at that particular instance in time. So really excited for this particular piece of the engine that we're looking to rebuild. So happy to answer any questions.
So Mr. Shaw, just for edification for council members, the existing software is how old?
Oh boy, I don't even know if I know the answer to that, Eric. 20?
It's 20 years old.
20 years old.
So it doesn't owe us anything. And they're not even supporting it anymore, pretty much, except for us.
Their customer service is great, which is a part of the reason why we're still sticking with them. They do an excellent job of helping us with stuff, but solutions for problems that come up become really laborious for them to do. It's a pretty big workaround. So we're ready to move into the right direction with this, and ready to move forward with it, I guess. So.
Questions for Mr. Shaw?
Mr. Mayor, I do have a couple questions. Mr. Shaw, I'm wondering with the electronic purchase orders, will that help us to reduce the frequency of then and now certificates?
Let's hope. Yes, absolutely. There are things that I've been doing government stuff long enough that there are just things that come up.
Yeah.
And you can't avoid those on the then and now certificates. So will they completely go away? No, but I hope maybe it helps in that aspect for sure. Yeah. Great. Yeah.
And then my other question, part of the service was that it would migrate 2 years of historical data. Do you have any concerns that it doesn't go beyond that or more than 2 years?
No, I have no concerns with that. That's what we're kind of still looking at is all of the information that we currently have, that 9-month build, almost a year process of cross-checking and making sure everything looks good. But no, I don't have a hesitation on that at all.
Okay. Thank you.
Question on proprietary is we've used the existing software for 20 years, and this one will take us into the future. Let's say we move to another platform. Is there any proprietary concerns from the company, or does it lock us down to their product only? Or will the data be able to be moved to another platform if and when in the future?
Good question. I don't have any concerns with that. We've been using this as well as several other people locally use this. I think Rossford uses this, and I don't want to say Perrysburg, but don't quote me on that, but I think Rossford does use this. But no, it doesn't bother me at all. And what's great with this is the item that's on your number 19 agenda there. But we've made sure that all of these things that you're going to see seamlessly integrate with each other. So it's not like we're getting something that fights with something else. So VIP coordinates very well with on-base that you'll see here in agenda item 19. So no concerns on my end.
But Mr. Shaw, the data remains the city's, correct?
Correct.
That's
I thought that maybe
that's
where
where I'm
we're
going.
driving at.
Yeah.
Mr. Shaw, what would the ongoing cost of using this software be?
Sure. I wrote that down because I figured you would ask. Our existing eGov is about $30,000, $30,200. The annual fee moving forward for this would be about 46, so about 16,000. But I will say, it has a finance package added to it. So you're not really comparing apples and apples at this kind of point in time, but, and you're certainly getting a better product for it too, so.
The thought is also that it would be saving time and personnel costs.
Wholeheartedly.
That hopefully, we actually are gonna be spending less overall to be able to get some more.
Let's hope. We're getting more work done with the existing stuff. Other questions from members of council? Hearing none, we have ordinance number 8, 2026 for consideration. Mrs. Westfall.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to introduce ordinance number 8 2026, and I'll read by title only, authorizing the mayor and director of finance to enter into a framework services support and license agreement with Software Solutions to upgrade the city's finance and utility billing software, appropriating funds therefore in the amount of $54,100. I move passage of ordinance number 8 2026 as an emergency measure.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve ordinance number 8, 2026 as an emergency measure. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried, and ordinance number 8, 2026 is approved as an emergency measure.
Mr. Mayor, I'm
Mr.
sorry.
Hanem.
Brian, to answer your question, I couldn't find it in the contract. There's a provision in the contract in section 8 titled term and termination. The termination provision makes pretty clear, I think, that our data is ours, and they have to return it, and there are certain things that we have to give them as well, but
It's the migration of data that's concerning to me, is whether it will be open source, because some software companies say you have to use our platform to be able to migrate the data from A to B.
that doesn't appear to be consistent with the termination provisions. So if we terminate, I think it's pretty clear the data is ours.
Okay.
A law director could probably talk about that.
Imagine she spent a little bit of time on that particular provision with Mr. Shaw and Mr. Short.
I knew there was something in there, I couldn't put my finger on it.
Thank you, appreciate the update.
I'd actually, Mr. Mayor, I had highlighted something here I meant to ask. It has nothing to do with passing it, just curiosity. Do we use positive, do we use positive pay now?
Not with all our checking accounts, but with some.
Okay, I just noticed that was part of this package too, so that would increase security for bill paying and stuff at the city too, so.
Right. Great. Moving on to agenda item number 16, Centennial and Little Road intersection improvements. Mr. Shaw.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We've been working on this area of our town for at least a good year and a half now, trying to come up with some different ways to improve safety on our Centennial Road corridor. We had discussed this project last year about whether to move forward with it. It wasn't a 25 budgeted item. So we decided to move this into a 26 budgeted item. So this is a professional engineering services agreement with Tetra Tech to provide for a modern single lane roundabout at the intersection of Centennial Road and Little Road. We had already gone through the letter of interest process. We had 3 consultants that expressed interest, and we selected Tetra Tech as the most highly qualified consultant to do this particular project. Scope and fee negotiations were yielded a proposal in the amount of $220,000 to help us with this. This would include topographic survey, engineering, right-of-way plans to help us with any right-of-way acquisition that would be needed for the roundabout. And therefore, we will probably come back either later this year or maybe in the first part of next year with a right-of-way acquisition contract, should any be needed, with another group. We don't usually try to include those in these contracts right up front because you don't know what you need. I'd rather come back to you with a good estimate about what's needed and go from there. So this was a 26 budgeted item, would be funded from the 401-7610-53607 account. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Mr. Shaw? Mr. McCann.
Is this a feasibility study, or is this what we want to do?
This is what we want to do.
Other questions for Mr. Shaw?
Mr. Mayor, are there plans for a public open house for this? And I only ask because we did one for the Erie and Monroe roundabout.
Sure, absolutely. We can absolutely do that with this. I think it's good for people to see that. This one maybe not as, bells and whistles as maybe some of the other ones that we've got around town. Pretty cut and dry one, but for sure.
Another comment, Mr. Shaw, as to two people on this council directly affected by this potential change, I welcome it.
Well, we've had a lot of comments
Got
about Little
comments
Road.
on it.
It'll be nice to, I think this is proactively addressing this issue. I got a little grumpy this week at David Patch and the article he wrote. But that's a different issue for another time.
Yep.
But this is a proactive response to concerns of our neighbors have expressed, and this will make our community an easier place to get around in. It will have a big impact on
Safer.
people who have to use that little road on a regular basis.
No doubt. Any other questions for Mr. Shaw regarding this? Hearing none, we have ordinance 9, 2026 for consideration. Mr. Richardson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is ordinance number 9, 2026. I will read by title only. Accepting the proposal of Tetra Tech to provide professional engineering services for the Centennial Road and Little Road intersection improvement project, appropriating funds therefore in the amount of $220,000. And I move for passage as an emergency measure.
Second. We have a motion and a second to approve ordinance number 9, 2026 as an emergency measure. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried, and ordinance number 9, 2026 is approved as an emergency measure. Moving on to agenda item number 17, pedestrian hybrid beacon replacement project. Mr. Shaw.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This project has been in front of council several times, whether it's been requesting permission to advertise or getting an engineering consultant on board, or even to go after the safety funds, which is the driver of this particular project. But we are ready. We have solicited the project from contractors. December is the holiday season for most, but it's also my favorite time of the year to bid projects because we get usually very, very good numbers, and this one was no different. We had FET Construction Services come in with a bid of $551,598.80, which was 24.6% under our engineer's estimate of $731,103. So a fantastic number. The bids were good. Our second low was from a group out of Wadsworth called Param Electric that doesn't get over this way usually too much, but obviously was aggressive in trying to go after the project as well, and a little bit higher than that, but still under estimate. So super good numbers. FET does a ton of work for us, obviously downtown. They were with us for phase 1. They're the contractor who's doing utility Berry in the second block. They've done Haroon Road traffic signal, well-versed in everything we do here. So super pleased with the contractor who's recommended to be awarded here. So as a reminder, this project has a huge amount of safety funding in it. 90% of the construction costs will be covered with that, which works out to be about $496,438. And we also have Ohio Public Works Commission funding assistance to help us with the balance of that and to help us with any construction engineering that goes with that as well. So we're in great shape on this particular project. Be happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Mr. Shaw?
Mr. Shaw, of that balance, which is already so low, how much of that will be covered by some of that other assistance?
Yeah, I probably will use a lot of the OPWC to cover design engineering costs, to cover, we didn't have any right-of-way acquisition, but construction engineering costs. So we have to be in it for a certain percentage of it. ODOT requires you to be in for 10%, so does OPWC. So we at least have to be 10% of whatever it is that goes on here, but very, very small amount.
It's important to recognize the ongoing efforts of the service department and other people in the administrative staff to continue to pull grant funding in from the state to help augment our tax dollars and stretch them further. So appreciate your ongoing efforts for that, Mr. Shaw. Any other questions for Mr. Shaw? Hearing none, we're going to spread the wealth around. Mr. Murphy, would you do ordinance number 10, 2026?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to introduce by title only ordinance number 10, 2026, accepting the bid of FET Construction Services, LLC, and awarding the contract for the pedestrian hybrid beacon project to the same. authorizing the expenditure for the improvements in the amount of $551,598.80. Appropriating funds, therefore, I move for passage of this as an emergency measure.
Second.
The motion and a second to approve ordinance number 10, 2026 as an emergency measure. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried and ordinance number 10, 2026 is approved as an emergency measure. Moving on to agenda item number 18. Lot split for consideration, Mr. Shaw.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A unique request. I know that Mr. Aller, I don't think had something like this in front of you. This would be my first, so this is a pretty unique request that goes along with a lot split. It's lot split 3, 2025. This is on the Planning Commission's agenda for this January, so that'll be next week. This was Mr. Hanem alluded to Little Road and some issues that we've been trying to fix. This was an annexed property that we took in when we did a lot of Centennial and Little over in that way. Basically what it is you've got two parcels. One has a principal structure on it. The other one has an accessory structure only on it. So he's gonna adjust the lot line in between the two to meet his needs so that he can actually build a principal structure on the lot next to him, whether he wants to do it himself or sell it or whatever, that's up to him to do. But what we don't wanna end up with is a lot split that has an accessory structure on it without a principal structure. So what we're doing is we're hedging ourselves with this lot split should it be approved by the Planning Commission, such that two things happen. Number one, Mr. Opiel gets a building occupancy, like a building permit within the first year of the lot split approval. That demonstrates a need to want to put the principal structure on the one lot. And then two, should he not, have an occupancy permit for the new building within 2 years, then we can use nuisance abatement abilities to take that accessory structure down so we don't have an issue with it. Can't have an accessory structure without having something principal to it. So that's the lead up for this. So we wanted to have this in front of you tonight for your consideration. Should it be accepted or approved, our Planning Commission has that weight with it, knowing that, okay, should we grant this lot split? We know that this rider kind of comes with it, and it ties the property owner who wants to do this, ties his feet a little bit and says, yeah, you are actually gonna build a principal structure on this lot and not just have it out there. So hopefully that explanation helps. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Shaw?
So this is effectively an agreement between the city and the property owner.
That's correct.
We're effectively granting are we effectively granting a 2-year variance from the requirement?
Giving him two years to build the structure. Should he not comply with those, then we can move forward with nuisance abatement and have the building and the building and documents taken.
Yes, I am, we have had an issue with, an accessory structure that was split, that we didn't have this issue with, and, that we didn't have an agreement, and that has proved very frustrating to, try
Yeah,
to work
and we don't need to take this to the BZA, for example.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, this is
good.
just, we can enforce this agreement.
Yeah, we don't want somebody living
Right.
in the accessory structure.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
Other questions from Mr. Shaw?
Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Hanson?
I guess I'm not real clear on what the Municipal Planning Commission will be reviewing, and I only say that because if it's coming to us first,
Sure.
then what is left for them to discuss?
Unique request for sure. So they're actually just doing the lot split, right? It's a simple lot split in front of them. They're considering the lot line. We've given them recommendations. Does the minimum lot to depth width ratios all make sense? Does the setbacks all make sense? So this is a very straightforward lot split application for them. We wanted this accessory agreement. We wanted that body to know that council has seen this issue on this accessory structure and know that they would be supportive of it should they grant approval of the lot split. So really for them, it's cut and dry. It's pretty
I mean,
simple.
Planning Commission is not going to be considering this agreement.
That's correct.
Correct.
That's correct.
They're only gonna be considering
Okay.
The lot split.
the lot split,
Yeah.
and then we're doing.
Correct.
Otherwise, the planning commission, I think, would be gun shy to approve the lot lines.
Right.
not knowing
What the agreement.
based on
Yeah.
other things that have occurred in the past.
We would have brought that up for sure too. In the planning commission meeting, we would have said, look, you're splitting a lot that's gonna have an accessory structure on it with no principal structure. Do you wanna do this?
Right.
This says there's a plan in place to handle that.
Okay.
That seems like a very practical approach. And, the 2-year occupancy permit is something we might need to see how it goes, but we're not gonna go into it with that, but.
I will tell you that the applicant, Mr. Opiel, has been more than accommodating and patient. We already worked through this, issue number 1, which is,
Yeah.
we worked on the irregular lot thing.
Right.
Once we provided this agreement to him, I had it back signed within a day. So he's more than wanting to move forward with this.
Mr. Mayor.
And just, and if you looked at the maps on this, these lots are, these aren't like
Yeah.
2/10 of an acre lots. These are still very individually, once the split occurs, would still be very substantial lots in almost an acre, just glancing at
They're
it.
big, yeah. Mhm.
So good sized lots regardless. Any other questions?
I just, out of curiosity, if he is serious about using that for a primary structure, why not tear the down now?
He wants to keep it. He likes the accessory structure. The other lot that has the primary structure on it, he wants to keep that too. But he wants to have a lot that either he can sell and have that build on, or he's gonna build it himself. I don't know what his intentions are, but the accessory structure is good enough that he wants to keep it. If that's fine, but I want a plan in place that if you wanna keep it, this is what's gonna happen with it if it's split, so.
Questions for Mr. Shaw? Hearing none, we have ordinance number 11, 2026 for consideration. Mr. Hayner.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move adoption of ordinance number 2026, and I will read by title only, authorizing the mayor and director of finance to enter into an accessory structure removal agreement with Ryan B. Opiel for 8102 and 8220 Little Road, Sylvania, Ohio. And I move adoption of ordinance number 11-2026 as an emergency measure.
Second. We have a motion and a second to approve ordinance number 11, 2026 as an emergency measure. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried, and ordinance number 11, 2026 is approved as an emergency measure. Moving on to agenda item number 19, enterprise content software management upgrade. So which section of the car is this one, Mr. Shaw?
This is the most important part. You're not moving anywhere without the engine. So
Okay, this is the engine?
This is the engine.
Okay, fair enough.
So this is the most critical piece of this. We've had on base since 2019. I would say our document management type thing, which basically was a electronic repository of plans only. That's what we had. It used to be called SIRE. Still exists, but is functionally obsolete. IT department put in on base in 2019 at probably a fraction of the abilities that this tool has. I think maybe they had some foresight at the time, knowing what the capabilities are, but what we were able to ask it to do at that time was extremely limited. This basically takes something very simple and opens it up to lots of different disciplines. So this is going from a junky engine to something that can run several platforms and be able to house and do different things with it. So I've listed a couple of the things in the letter. Critical search tools is incredible with this. It has artificial intelligence built into it, so that sometimes when you get emails from that'll come in, it recognizes document format and it knows exactly where to slot them in different places. It has really advanced capabilities and technologies that we're super excited to have. We'll really organize everything instead of having a copy of a file who sent it to the law director who has a copy of that file to have someone else who has a copy of that file. It basically trims everything down to very easy, searchable, findable ways to do it. So integrates super well with our GIS and other digital platforms. Really excited to get started with this piece. Like I said, this is the engine. This helps us get started with the other 5 or 6 things that are gonna be in front of you, but super important piece here. So this is an upgrade that was included in the 26 budget with a total cost of $30,320. We're gonna split it between 2 accounts, between our water and our sewer account. those are listed there. Implementation, is about 60 to 90 days, so once they open up the VATs to us, we can do a lot of different cool things with it, so this will go relatively quickly for us. So this is an amendment to our underlying license agreement with Highland Software, who is the provider of OnBase, so I'd be happy to answer any questions.
And just in case you can't tell from Joe's voice, he's excited about this software package. And I know Mr. Martins is as well. When they came to, me earlier or last year technically, I guess now, and showed me this, they were really, really excited about the capabilities of how this system can help the city continue to progress and move forward. So, any questions for Mr. Shaw? Hearing none, we have ordinance number 12, 2026. Mr. McCann, you get the engine.
The engine that could. I'd like to introduce by title only ordinance number 12-2026, authorizing the mayor and director of finance to enter into an agreement to underlying license agreement with Highland Software, Inc. to upgrade the city's enterprise content management software, appropriating funds therefore in the amount of $30,320. I move for passage of ordinance number 12-2026 as an emergency measure.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve ordinance number 12, 2026 as an emergency measure. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried and ordinance number 12, 2026 is approved as an emergency measure. Moving on to agenda item, last but not least, number 20, vehicle and equipment maintenance management. That's a mouthful, Mr. Shaw, but go ahead.
It is. This is another exciting piece for us, especially for me. Jason Music has done an exceptional job with a 20-year-old piece of software that he continues to put stuff into, but it has extremely limited capabilities, and especially when it comes to reporting. Using it, the whole point of having a vehicle equipment and maintenance software is to be able to plug all the information that you're doing to these things. How much are you spending on it? How many parts did you buy? What did you throw into these vehicles every year? And then have it do the sorting for you and tell you, hey, by the way, this vehicle is, 3 years older than the other one that you're looking at, but this other one has actually cost you $15,000 in maintenance this year. That's what this piece of software will do. This is called Fleetio. It lacks integration capabilities with the engine that we had just talked about. So this is something that plugs and plays in really well with it. I am really excited for this because this has always been, even in my deputy director role, this has been something that's frustrated me with how we've done our vehicle and equipment management. I think we do a good job of it with our limited resources that we have, but this is just going to be data driven. It'll be as simple as just looking at filing a report, being like, that one's got to go, that one can stay, that one can go. Here we go, and that's what's in the budget. It'll be that simple. So all of our departments are really excited about this, including Jason. He's thrilled to actually have something like this. So we have what we're buying allows us to onboard anywhere between 50 and 499 vehicles and pieces of equipment. We have about 125 vehicles or so in our fleet right now. Adding in the equipment, that puts us right around 150. So we're not close to any of the capabilities of this, but super excited for this. It's included in our 26 budget. The total cost is $21,960. Splitting it between the police account that's listed there as well as our streets account to help pay for this one. This one implements really fast, so 60 to 90 days. Hopefully when it comes budget time for September, we've got a lot of stuff going in this, and I can be a really happy service director when it comes time to recommend vehicles and equipment next year. So happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Mr. Shaw?
Mr. Shaw, I think this looks great. I think the other software looks great. It's tough to look through all of them and know what things can play nice with each other and be able to think about the long term. This does make me think about other assets that are within the city and their maintenance and lifespans, such as like our roads, pipes underneath the roads, the lights above. Are any of the softwares we're going to see something that helps keep track of the order of potential maintenance and costs associated with those looking in the long run?
Sure, there's really complicated models that are out there. One that you will see next week is called Civil, which is it actually is an asset management tool that'll cover multi-disciplines. It'll have some parks integrations to it. It'll have streets integrations. One thing that Civil does really well is it actually does pavement condition ratings on its own. It's a Google Street View that you go through and drive down the road. It is basically capturing everything as it goes, and it'll know what kind of tree that is. It knows what sign that is, and it looked at your pavement while it was traveling, and it knows exactly what type of condition it is, and it'll rate the whole thing for you. So we do those things already. We've been doing pavement condition ratings for about 10 years now. It's time consuming. It's subjective. Our guys go out with a clipboard and go and say, okay, this is done within probably 3 days, and it compiles all the information. And our guys can go back out in the streets department and do things that we want our streets department doing, like painting lines and fixing curb ramps and curbs and all those good things. So yes, to answer your question, yes, some things coming down the road does. This particular thing is just driven towards vehicle and equipment maintenance.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
So Ms. Dow, that one's the one I got excited about, the one that he just described last week. That's the one for the next council meeting. I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool.
Those are the really, really big expenses.
It's not as much as you might think.
No, it isn't. Wait,
Oh, I don't mean the software, I mean the items that.
Oh, the
need to be
items,
fixed
yes,
and the maintenance
absolutely.
numbers,
Yeah,
those are the
absolutely.
ones that.
Pavement condition rating, absolutely, that drives all of the decisions that we're making in regards to investments on our pavement, as you all know, on what gets covered and what doesn't, so.
Mr. Mayor, we'll say, some of these are hard to envision, I get it. I mean, you're talking about software, I can see some eyes glaze over, but the tools and the capabilities that we will have when we are finished with this and we have this stuff implemented will drastically change what we do. I'm really fortunate to have talented people behind me, deputy directors here, super talented. Terry Adams, our GIS guy, super talented. So we've got the tools here, not only with the stuff that we're asking you guys for, but the horses behind me to put these things in motion. So I'm absolutely thrilled. So appreciate it.
Super. Any other questions for Mr. Shaw? Hearing none, we have ordinance number 13, 2026 for consideration. Ms. Stout.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to introduce ordinance number 13-2026 and read by title only. Accepting the proposal of Rare Step Incorporated, DBA Fleetio, for a fleet management software program, appropriating funds therefore in the amount of $21,960. I move for passage of ordinance number 13-2026 as an emergency measure.
We have a motion and a second to approve ordinance number 13, 2026 as an emergency measure. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried, and ordinance number 13, 2026 is approved as an emergency measure. That comes to the end of our agenda. Are there any committee reports?
Maybe before we go any further,
Mr. Haynem?
I feel really good about this stuff, and I think it's indicative of the kind of city we are and the way we evaluate things, the way we take care of our assets and take care of our neighbors. And makes me proud to serve on a council and in a city that does these kind of things and thinks this way. And Joe, I really appreciate you and your staff and all the work they're doing to make this the kind of city that we want it to be. We joke all the time, the most important thing we do here is make sure that the roads work and the garbage gets picked up and the snow gets plowed. We take care of the little things, and your focus on the little things makes all the difference in the world. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Any other committee reports or committee referrals? Hearing none, there was one item I wanted to mention before we consider adjournment. I don't know whether any of you have heard or not, but TMACOG is in the process of changing, or the consideration of changing its name to Lake Erie West Regional Council. So the TMACOG annual meeting is, when is it? January the 30th, I think? Or is it April?
No, it's January 30th.
It is
January the 30th, I thought so.
Yeah.
So obviously, any of you, I know many of you have attended those meetings in the past at General Assembly. You're welcome to do that. It's gonna be under consideration for that, but I wanted to mention that to you because obviously we're heavily involved in TMACOG and have been for many years Mayor Stow was in fact the chairman of Team Cog at one point during his tenure as mayor and helped lead that organization. So I just wanted to mention that if you're interested in going, please let Ms. Smith know so she can take care of getting some tickets for everybody. So if you wanna attend, that would be great. Any other items that come before council this evening?
Mr. Mayor, I have
Mrs.
something.
Westphal.
I'd just like to put out a quick reminder that on Tuesday, the 13th, there will be that open house for phase 2 of the downtown area here in this area, 5:30 to 7:30. Is that right, Joe?
That's correct. Thank you. I appreciate you mentioning that. Yep.
Anything else come before council? Hearing none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn our council meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried, and we are adjourned until our next council meeting on Tuesday, January the 20th at 6:30 PM here in council chambers. Thank you very much.